Hello, good morning. How's everybody doing today? My name is Kirsten Foss. I am the owner of Refreshed Businesses Coaching and Consulting. And I am a business coach for the salon and spa industry. I teach salon and spa owners the business of their business so that they can make some money at it. It's pretty tough making money as a spa owner, salon owner, because typically we know our skill set really well, but we have a hard time with things like marketing, the admin of our business, the company culture, all the kind of boring stuff that feels boring and hard to do. So I help salon owners do that kind of stuff. So today is a Marketing Monday for me here. And today I wanted to talk about, hey Liliana, nice to see you here. Today I wanted to talk about creative marketing, and I think because, as a spa owner, we know our skill set as an esthetician, as a spa therapist. Marketing is really not our skill set. And sometimes if you are not a creative person or think of yourself as a creative person, marketing is, part of it is science, the testing, the analytics, all that kind of stuff, but part of it is artistic too. And so because we're often chief cook and bottle washer in our business, we've got wearing a lot of hats, it can feel really overwhelming to think about, well, how do I create creative marketing when I don't feel like a creative person? How do I stimulate that? So I want to talk about that today. Thank you for the hearts. So some of you, if you have been following me for a while, you've seen that I've been blogging for like a year and a half. I create most of my own images. I do a lot of video. I've created a couple of different courses, all based on video. And I think some people assume that I've just come by this creative process naturally and that it's just easy and I just somehow just knew how to do it, how to make things. But that's really not the case. And I wanted to share a little bit about my process of how I do that, but I also wanted to share something that I read. So one of the books that I've been dying to read over Christmas break was Elizabeth Gilbert's Big Magic. I don't know if any of you have read this. It's a great read. It's a quick read. She's the author of Eat, Pray, Love. And it's called Big Magic, Creative Living Beyond Fear. So I think it's especially if you don't think you're creative, but you want to live a more creative life, it's a good read. But in there's something that she brought up that I thought was really interesting. And I think I recognized it as something that has made me look like I've got it together on the outside. And I do have it together as far as my creativity, but I'm always kind of pushing and trying for more. But what she said in there was one piece of information, and it had to do with feeling stuck in your creativity. And I know that you feel like that, I want to make an image, a branded image with my logo on it or my business name on it for Facebook, say, for example. And you're like, I don't even know where to start. I'm not a creative person. Well, Elizabeth Gilbert in a book had this little blurb in there about Einstein and what he does. And he called this technique, what did he call it? Combinatory play. Combinatory play. And what this means is that he found that often his best scientific ideas or breakthroughs came when he was feeling stuck and would take a break and play his violin. And so kind of what the gist of this is that you can take things in your life that you do that are seemingly not connected. So you wouldn't think, math is connected to the violin, although, once you kind of get into the science behind it, that's actually very connected. But, we look at, playing an instrument as very creative, very, very different than, figuring out math equations. It's like, how could they possibly be connected? But what Einstein found, and what other people find as well, is that when we're stuck, or not even when we're stuck, if we kind of have different things that we're doing creatively in our life, if we take a break and switch over to do something creative that's just joyful, just for the sake of joy, it opens up parts of our brains and allows us to think a little bit more clearly, and it opens up this creative process. So, it's not like, I magically, know how to write, know how to create videos, know how to create images. There was lots of stuff in the past 10 years that I have put together as really helping me out in my business and particularly in marketing. So many years ago, I used to do cross stitch. And it was creative, it was something mindless, but I loved seeing a pattern come together. And that doesn't really have anything to do with marketing per se, or how does that translate into marketing? It doesn't. It was just, I realized, okay, there's always been things in my life that I've done that have not been related to work and that are just for the sheer joy of creating something. So I used to cross stitch. When my son was born, I started scrapbooking. And actually that was a spot where I have taken a lot of that creativity and skill into my marketing. So at first I started scrapbooking, just regular paper and embellishments and all that kind of stuff. But then I started getting interested. My mom started scrapbooking too, and she got into digital scrapbooking. And we both bought the Photoshop Elements, which is a kind of a pared down version of regular Photoshop. And I taught myself how to do digital scrapbook images. So fast forward a couple years, kind of stopped doing digital scrapbooking, was much more into the business side of things. But I've used my Photoshop Elements to create all of my graphics and for my business. And now it's actually even easier because there's other platforms that are free. And I'll be teaching this in the Content Marketing for Spas starting next week. So I'll give you a little sneak peek. So I use some platforms, super easy to use. You don't have to download, you don't have to buy Photoshop Elements, that you can create your own graphics. And this one that in particular is canva.com. And so, yeah, I realized that I've taken a lot of that creativity, but the skill of creating digital scrapbooking, and it's made my marketing a lot easier. Another thing that's kind of crossed over into my business as far as marketing, but really started out as a personal creativity thing, was journaling. I journaled a lot in my teen years, those angst years where, my journal was pretty full when I was pretty miserable, kind of empty when I was feeling good. But I've always liked writing my thoughts down. And then when it came to me wanting to stretch a little bit in my business and blog, I took an online course for writing blogs and freebies, that kind of thing. And so I realized then, I was like, okay, I know I'm fairly good at writing a written word and getting my expression and my thoughts down on paper, but I needed a little bit more fine tuning in the very specifics of blogging. So that was another crossover. So that was creative. So journaling and then switching that over into blogging, but very specifically blogging for lead generation to attract people into my business. What else have I done? As far as video, I've always kind of been interested in, I've always kind of wanted to make these really fun videos. People make them for their families and their kids and stuff. So even before I started doing webinars or anything like that, I actually signed up for a Udemy class online. It was 5 weeks and it was totally unrelated to business. It was totally about being creative. And it was a little course on creating a under 5-minute video about something that's inspirational for you. And it was super fun. And we got to share these videos with the rest of our cohort, and it was really inexpensive. I think it was maybe $20. And the instructor gave some really good, basic points about, shooting video, lighting, setting up the frame, that kind of stuff. And so what I'm getting at is I was doing that creatively for fun, but yet now when I've moved into doing a lot of video in my work, And my marketing, I mean, Periscope is part of my marketing strategy. I now know I have more insight on video creation. And when I do my webinars, the same kind of thing. You know, I've learned the techie part of it through kind of just teaching myself through my own desire to kind of create video. So really what I'm getting at is, if you're feeling frustrated with creative marketing, get out of your own way and do something creative for fun, for the sheer joy of just being creative. I don't mean like, if you're like, I hate writing, I hate journaling, I don't like making images, I don't like anything like that. But there has to be something in your life that you do for fun that feels creative in some sort of way. I don't mean art or anything like that, but there must be something. And so if you're feeling stuck, why not pull an Einstein and try doing something just for fun? Get your head out of the business game for a little bit, and then go back to what you're needing to create for your business and see if that causes any kind of little bit of a shift. I suspect that it will probably, at the very minimum, just kind of go from feeling like your head's totally closed and like nothing is coming, to feeling like a little bit more spaciousness in your creative process. So what Einstein was talking about was combinatory play, and basically his best ideas came from when he took a break from figuring out math and playing the violin. So I invite you to take a look at what in your life you could be tapping into creatively. And you know, for me this year, I just came out of a 3-day event in Victoria, BC called Transformation Weekend. And it was like basically like goal setting and planning on steroids. It was insane. But really what came up for me this weekend was I really needed to pay attention to my own self-care much more than I have been. And the reason why is because I'm starting to feel a little tapped out in my creative process, in my inspiration. I want to continue to be innovative and creative, and it's really hard when you are feeling tapped out. So, you know, for me, I realized that I'm not doing those creative things that I used to love doing just for fun. And it's time for me to get back into doing the creative stuff that I want to do. So I think that there's some little nuggets in there for you too. I know that some spa owners are feeling that like you're hitting the wall, or you just don't think you're a creative person at all. And I beg to differ. I think we're creative beings. I mean, it depends. Like some people love and are totally tapped into their creativity, and some people aren't as much, but there's different places of creativity that you can tap into. So that's it for today's Periscope, about kind of getting more creative in your marketing and how I did it, and sharing a little bit about how Einstein did it and lots of other people, and also Elizabeth Gilbert's book, Big Magic. If you want to read this, it's a great read. I totally recommend it. So next week, on Monday, the 18th, holy cow. So on Monday, I'm getting started with content marketing for spas. It's an online course. It's a recorded webinar course that will be delivered to your inbox every Monday for 5 weeks. And in that class, I am going to be teaching you how to create images, your own branded images, how to create videos, and how to create, do your own blog, as well as at the end, I'm going to teach you how to repurpose it all so that you get like more bang for your buck on all the work that you're doing. So if that's something that interests you, to kind of add a new layer to your marketing, thank you for the hearts. To add a new layer to your marketing, something that's more creative, this is the registration page, refreshed.biz.com/create-spa-content-register. So you can screenshot that if that's something that you want to take a look at. That's the registration page. It's 5 weeks, $97. There's a private Facebook group that I will be moderating and helping, and it'll be some peer support and group and creativity in there with your own cohort. And I think it'll be fun. And, I think that especially in January is typically a slower time of the year. This is the time of the year where you want to do this professional and personal development stuff. Because it is a bit quieter, you're coming off the manicness of the December rush, and you have a little bit of time to learn something new. All right, so that's it for today. I have a full day of coaching clients. I'm really looking forward to that. I've already had one today with somebody in Kentucky. And if you have any questions, let me know. Like if you're struggling with your marketing and you just are done with it and don't know how to create a plan, which you need a plan, you need a strategy. That's what I'm really good at. And I'm really good at picking out, hearing a story, picking out where the issues are, where the problems are, and helping you fix that. So if you want to connect with me, you can send me an email at kirsten@refreshedbiz.com, or you can follow me on Facebook, Kirsten Foss Refresh Businesses. And if you're a spa owner, I have a private Facebook group called Spa Business Mastery. So feel free to ask to join that. Just make sure that you have in your about section that you are a salon or spa owner, so I know that you are the right person to come into our group. Okay, we'll see you soon. I will be back on Periscope on Wednesday, and that's it for today. Have a wonderful day.